I'm right Chipos, man. I got this, yeah.
January 21st, 2012, and I moved over here and I decided I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and I lived out of my car for several months after finally getting to a place where I was living in Brickell. I think perception plays a lot into that. I just worked a guest star on SWAT last week. I auditioned 21 times for that show. 1, 2, 3 times. I give up on myself. It's not this. The perception and the understanding and that resilience has to be there. That belief in self has to be there. Absolutely. And also the love of like, hey, don't ever forget that you're lucky to do what you do.
People need to see the process, because it's like you, when you are vulnerable and when you show people the process, it enables them to fast track their success, because they know if I have a bad day, if I have a bad moment, I can persevere through that. Welcome to the $1 Million Branders podcast. So today's guest is very special. We met I think we connected in like the first 5 minutes of speaking through so many,
the power of authenticity, that's what that was.
Blessed things that we talk about. So yeah, exactly, excuse me. But we are here today, graced by his presence. I love what you're doing in the world. So many things. You are an actor, a musician, a martial artist. That's a hell of a mix, by the way. Doing the movies.
My 3 passions.
Yes,
right there.
and an entrepreneur too, which is extremely rare. So you have a lot of free time, I'm sure.
It's so much.
But what's the common thread that ties all these passions together for you? Anthony, bless, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome and the smiles and the energy that I'm receiving.
And tell us also before that, tell us a little bit about your story. So I know you're a New Yorker.
A little bit about me. I grew up in New York City, in Jackson Heights, Queens. My father came from Puerto Rico with Spaniard bloodline, and my mom came from Cuba. My father's watching us right now from the heavens. He's somebody I honor on a daily basis with my choices and with the decisions I make in life. He was definitely an overachiever. Very, very tough disciplinarian, but always like followed that fueled with love. And my mom is just like the epitome of unconditional love. She
Beautiful.
Doesn't matter if the lights went out, if the bills weren't getting paid, if we were in the most tragic situation. Her faith is so resilient and so unwavering.
Amazing. And
her ability to make you feel loved was something that I never lacked in my life. And that's a lot of what contributed to my bravery growing up. So I'm extremely grateful for the pillars that I had as parents. I moved to Miami to start high school. My parents separated for a while, which, as you can imagine, for a 14-year-old boy, that came
tough.
with it.
Yeah.
Quite a thing, not having a dad. Now I know very much how to take my anger and fuel it into positive ways. At that time, that anger and that rage was really just a cover for hurt that I didn't know how to assess and I didn't know how to recognize and deal with properly. So I guess that's why it made me like such a beast in sports. The boxing, the martial arts came in. And funny segue, my 3 idols growing up when I was a little kid, it was Superman, it was Michael Jordan, and it was Rocky Balboa, the character.
Oh, love Rocky.
And I realized why that made me have kind of a hero complex, because in high school, I was considered one of the cool guys or whatever. And, not that that's what I was trying to be. I was an athlete, and my parents always made sure we got good grades. But I was always defending the nerds and the people that were getting bullied. And in turn, when people found out that I can fight, then it never turned into a fair fight afterwards. It would be let's find out where he's getting his hair cut and let's try to jump him out there when he's by himself, or meet him by his car in the parking lot when he's separated from all his friends. But yeah, it just surviving that fills you with so much love and resilience that being in the acting industry now and to your beautiful question of how they all fuel together, it's really just clay potting passion and purpose, because they're all forms of expression. And I feel like if I'm a master of anything, it's expressing myself. And in martial arts, in the art of Jeet Kune Do, I have a teacher that learned directly under Bruce Lee. And
Wow,
that
incredible.
is a meditation, physical, emotional, spiritual journey every time that I disconnect and I connect into that art form and into expressing myself in the truest form. Same goes with acting. I honor that passionately and with craft. And I believe in being like the best teammate and a person that brings value to every set. And that's how I try to run every part of my life.
I feel like we're gonna do a documentary, okay? We're gonna manifest that, but I think you need your own movie. Such a beautiful way to explain stuff. And I know I've got an idea of how resilient you are. And I didn't tell you I did Muay Thai for like 7, 8 years too. I'm a tomboy.
Careful.
So.
Be careful when they're beautiful inside and out, and then they could also kick you in the face.
I'm a good girl.
Respect.
Though. I don't kick many people.
Yeah, no. I'm sure you'd probably do it more
but
defending
thank
somebody
you.
than
exactly.
than like out of something.
But I loved how you spoke about school, because I think it's a choice. Like there's a choice at how you look at things in life as an entrepreneur. Sometimes even when you go through adversity, like I'm a strong believer out of adversity is always born advantage, but you got to look at the advantage. You got to find the opportunity.
Very beautifully said.
Yeah, same as you. Did you ever sit back and think, damn, I made it past the point where other people quit? And what was the moment you realized that you were on the right path? So like, let's talk about your acting. You're doing so many incredible things. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of you in the world. I think you're just getting started. Ears, yes. Absolutely.
For me, it's funny, you're opening my heart with these questions. One of them was, came from very humble beginnings. Then in Miami, I became kind of like the TV and the music guy, where like I was booking every audition. I was performing at every major venue, whether it was Live, whether it was Mansion, clubs that were opening up. They were reaching out to me to get them to be the headliner, to like open up their thing, because they knew I would bring 180, 200 people right away. And I made a promise to God. I had one more TV show left to book that shoots in Miami. It was Magic City. And I said, God, universe, if I book this show, that means that you're showing me that I need to follow my path and go to LA. And I really have to do this.
Yeah.
And universe said, God said, I hear you. And boom, I got Magic City. And it was in September of 2011. Coincidentally, I had a red carpet performance lined up for a music video on a song that I was just releasing. My last day, I'm getting chills talking about this. My last day on Magic City, when they wrapped me and clapped me up after working with them for a week, landed on the same night that I was going to have that music performance at the Epic Hotel. Wow. I had Mark Anthony there, his family, my publicist. I got to live out the acting side and the music side in the same day.
Wow,
it
incredible.
Was such a blessing. And then the morning right after that, it was, oh shit, I made this promise, I gotta go. And by January, I committed to that. It was January 21st, 2012, and I moved over here, and I decided I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And I lived out of my car for several months. After finally getting to a place where I was living in Brickell, I had the water right off my balcony.
I was just
it was
there
a really
a few
good place.
months
You know Brickell, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
It's cream. And for me, the moment that I then started renting out a sofa from my friend's studio, which felt like a huge inconvenience, but I had a roof over my head. Being able to get my first apartment over here was what let me know, like, all right, it's going to be okay. And my work ethic, I would wake up before my roommate would even be up. I already had come back from running.
Rocky story.
And
real Rocky story.
It felt like it. And one thing that I'll share with you, which still affects my heart, and I'm gonna do my best not to shed any tears on this. I love my brother. When I was 14, 15, and it was just us two and my mom, I was a father figure for him. And as I moved away, I found out a few months later that he contracted cancer. And I could not stomach that. I loved this kid more than myself. And I would go out to Runyon, and I'd start at the bottom and stretch, and I'd say a prayer. I said, for every time that I run to the top without stopping, he's going to be more healed. And I would run crying like a madman all the way up Runyon Canyon, my legs giving out, everything, and I would not stop. So having him healthy and now with 2 kids,
Oh,
and then having my own place out here
beautiful.
and everything, that's what let me know things were going to be okay. My mom, my brother, everything to me, and losing him, the devastation that I would have felt, let me just say, I would have had to channel every lesson that I've ever learned to be able to deal with that in a positive manner.
Wow. Well, you got such a powerful soul and spirit, and thank you for sharing that and also being vulnerable. I actually lost my best friend who was like a sister to me at the age of 32. She was 32, so now you got me in tears.
So
for the
young.
time. Yeah.
I warned you. I was trying to hold
but
it.
It is like, I think there's something very powerful about the human soul and spirit when you pray, and I believe God is behind everything that we do. And I think a lot of people forget that, but you got to count your blessings. Excuse the pun again.
Thanks. I needed to laugh at that moment. This is why I'm here. It was a week ago we met, thanks to Derek and Rachel on the rooftop of a Guru's event, and within 5 minutes, the authenticity with which she spoke,
so much.
and the sincerity in her eyes, in her voice, and being out here in LA, you definitely learn to balance and recognize them very quickly. And
I'm secretly
it's
a
been
New
that.
Yorker, but I can't say coffee or donut like you.
We'll get there.
Thank
We'll get
you.
there.
Yeah.
But thank you. The way you are is a testament to why this is happening,
you
and to
so
why
much.
this session feels so open and so full of love and so
I'm
vulnerable.
so glad. And likewise, like, ride or die, hey? The New York mentality. A lot of people are out here waiting for a sign to chase their dreams. I know we've had lots, right? We've spoken about being in flow. What's your take on that? Is it luck, destiny, or just grinding until it works?
All of the above. I hear a quote a lot that resonates with me. It's the harder you work, the luckier you become.
Oh, it's so good.
I believe in that very much so. I also, following what you just said about, like, when you believe that God is behind things, you have to believe that. And what happens is, as you know, by what we were talking about with Joe Dispenza and Louis Hayes and Abraham Hicks, like, your belief is your reality. What happens in your subconscious is what you create to be real. This whole world that is manifested started with somebody's imagination.
Absolutely.
So if you're believing that, if you're working hard, if you're focused, if your attention, you're giving your attention to something you desire and you want and you love, you have to love it passionately.
Yes,
and
you
the
do.
universe is going to conspire in your favor to make that a reality. But you have to remove the doubt.
Absolutely.
And you have to stay resilient, because it doesn't come as in it's been 3 days. Yes. Sometimes it could take 10 years. Sometimes it could take 10 months.
Yes.
Sometimes it could take 10
you
days.
have to trust.
But you have to.
And you gotta prepare, right?
So tell that to them, because that's the hardest part, the trust, the rejection, the not.
right.
Don't see it as
The
rejection.
no's.
It's the experience. It's the learning. Like, Michael Jordan's a huge role model of mine.
Yes.
And he failed a lot of times to then become the greatness that
We
he is,
love
the
MJ.
GOAT
Yeah.
that we call him. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love him. I still get goosebumps and I smile when I see his highlights, because I feel like he empowers me because he believes in himself so much. And that's how we have to be for ourselves.
Definitely. And also, words are so important. Like, I know, like, we're articulating all these concepts, but the saying that I love is, the words you speak become the house you live in.
Oof.
And a lot of people
that one.
don't realize that. They don't. And I know we are positive energy, but they're walking around so on a 2D level, not a 3D level. And you have to embody your words too. How important do you think words are from your journey so far?
First off, I'm taking that. The words you speak are
Become
the house you live in. Yes. I'll even put it to the present. They are the house you live in. I think words are extremely important, whether you're faith-based or science-based. Affirmations affect your neuropsychology, and
Agreed.
it's proven factually. Now, if you take that scientific fact and then on top of that you have spiritual knowing, like,
Powerful.
now that's a powerful
Now we're
house
talking.
to live in.
Now we're getting blessed.
And for and for me, I mean, I have scripts. I write music. Like, when people say, like, words are important, I will never underestimate the power of action. But words can heal hearts, and words can cause wars. They're powerful.
That's powerful too. I'm keeping that one.
That's a freestyle.
Yeah, thank you. So when the pressure's on and everything feels like it's against you, How do you, Anthony Bless, keep pushing forward and flip the switch?
Deep breath, gratitude. I think of my family right away. I connect with love right away. When it gets scary, and I've been there, when it gets doubtful, and I've been there, deep breath and ground myself. The breath is the essence of our entire life force.
Beautiful.
Like, it's the deep breaths, it's the connection with love. Once I think about how hard my mom worked and my dad worked to even give us the chance at this opportunity by coming over to this country, I cannot disregard that or negate that by saying it's too difficult, I'm going to give up.
Yes.
What a way to break their hearts and to not be true to like these gifts that have been given to me, for me not to honor them correctly.
So honorable. And I don't know if I told you, but I am actually South African. So we immigrated to Australia when I was 12. So I really honor you for that.
You know what that's like then, to be ripped out of your environment.
Totally. And that's it. And at that age, it wasn't easy, but it's very honorable because they did give us a start. So I'm grateful to my parents. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So thank you for that.
Thank you, parents. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about mindset and perseverance, because I know you're very big on this. You've stepped into different industries where people fight tooth and nail to make it. What's the mental game that separates those who win from those who fold?
I think perception plays a lot into that. I think how you take, clear example. I'm going to celebrate this. I just worked a guest star on SWAT last week. It was an amazing role that I had wanted to. Thank you.
So awesome.
I had been wanting to be a part of that series. I love the cast and the crew. And what people don't know is I auditioned 21 times for that show. I've been put on a veil. I've been put on hold. I've been pinned for huge recurring and guest star pieces for that show. And it didn't come to fruition till now. I started with them auditioning, I believe, season 4.
Wow.
I know a lot of people, 1, 2, 3 times, I give up on myself. It's not this. The perception and the understanding of, if they're bringing me in so often and they're putting me close to booking this, like, they care to place me. And that resilience has to be there. That belief in self has to be there.
Absolutely.
And also the love of like, hey, don't ever forget that you're lucky to do what you do. So whether we got to pay for our own time, edit, record our auditions ourselves and send them up there, like, the gratitude, which aligns everything, the gratitude for that opportunity and honoring that and being like, hey man, I have a standard that I have to keep. I have to be great every time. Not great almost every time, and this time I'm bothered because I haven't booked yet. That might have been the time. That might have been the one. Like, you can. I'm a firm believer that gratitude is the like gateway that aligns everything. So as soon as I need things to start happening, I need that blessed juju to flow, gratitude is the first thing that I go to.
Wow.
Just deep breaths and thank you. That's how I start every day.
So just thank you?
I literally take a deep breath and say thank you. I literally just say thank you. Sometimes I'll repeat it 15, 25 times because it starts hitting you. And when you're connecting with your breath, it starts becoming you. And then you start, maybe give yourself 3 things to be grateful for. And for me, it's very easy for me to think about having a home, the potential in this moment. Like, there's so much potential in this moment right now that if people just tap into that, like, then they create more great moments. And then that potential continues to flourish and multiply.
Absolutely. Oh, love it. So powerful. So when was the last time you hit a breaking point, and what did you do to get past it?
Ooh, okay. So something a lot of people don't know, I was a series regular for 4 seasons on a show called Ruthless. We had been invited for a 5th season. I wasn't going to be with them for the 5th season, and we were now going into an actors strike. So I got to see everything that I worked up for and everything in my savings disappear as I'm paying for my life, as I'm helping my mom in Miami.
Wow.
And I'm seeing negative. There was a few months where I even had to get government assistance for food.
Wow.
Something people don't know because they see me on the red carpets, they see me releasing music, doing sold out performances. You know, they have no idea the re-strengthening, the re-fortifying that I had to do from making like $300,000, $500,000 a year to like all of a sudden, boom, it turns to 25. Like the bills don't stop coming.
No.
And this industry will have no mercy on you if you don't have it for yourself. That was one for me. And I learned listening to a lot of people that are wiser, older, to create that resilience by self-belief and by making uncomfortable things comfortable. Being comfortable in the uncomfortable started becoming like a superpower for me, and strengthening that morning routine to make sure your mind is right, because if you go through the day not believing yourself, you're not going to get out of that situation. You're just going to make yourself miserable. You're going to make yourself unhealthy. And then the impact that you have on other people isn't going to be that great light. It's going to be like a rain cloud. And nobody wants that. And you shouldn't want that for yourself.
If you are enjoying this episode, if you have gotten value from this episode and it has changed your life by teaching you things, I'm going to ask you a huge favor. If you would subscribe, like, follow, and share with people so we can bring more incredible guests to the $1 Million Branders podcast to serve you better, so you can make more money in your business, in your life, and accelerate your growth into becoming the $1 million brand that I know is possible for you. Thank you, and my greatest appreciation to you. I think we're going to need to start an apparel brand so we can stick these things to our body.
We got a documentary and an apparel brand coming.
Yeah, that's it.
You know I'm a green light with you.
I love it.
You're ready.
I love it.
You
likewise.
Very quickly, I mean, you have also.
I mean it.
Thank you.
Influence and impact, because this is big. I mean, you see so many influencers online. Some of them stand for things, some of them don't. Let's be honest. Some of them are real, some are not. With a platform and influence, there's a responsibility, I feel. Massive responsibility. How do you make sure your message actually helps people instead of just looking good on social media? Because I know your heart, like I can see it, but for those who don't,
I think and there's a thin line, because you want to maintain some of your privacy, but you also like, I opened up a mental health nonprofit. Part of my, like, I like to be of service. I like to, like, if there's one thing that people love about me the most is that, like, oh, it feels like he lifts me up, you know? And in that, I'm also lifting myself up. To get back to that part of your question, repeat to me the last part.
So how do you make sure your message actually helps people instead of just looking good? Because I know you do both, but I think it's
tapping into vulnerability, being
beautiful.
Once you release the idealism of perfection, I think that helps a lot, because yeah, it's great to put out the great stuff that's out there, but also, like, man, I see a lot of quotes, even when I'm scrolling through online, and like a lot of my pages are like martial arts or positive quotes and neuroscientific stuff and whatever. And when I see something, I post it and I share it to my story. And it might not be what everybody wants. It might not be the shock value of like, oh, the Kardashians did this, or like, oh, look at these two people that fought. But like, somebody that day needed just a reminder of something positive, and I hope that it affects them. And in me recognizing that, because it's scary sometimes, you're like, oh, you have to be perfect in the public eye, releasing that and like letting people know I'm going to do my best. I think that was a big...
I am a recovering perfectionist.
You see? So tell them, like, what helped you? What helped you with...
I'm still working on it. I think it's a practice. I think you just got to realize that everyone starts from the bottom, and especially even with material things, you're not going to take them with you. Like, my thing is people. I love people. Like, I really want to see people do well in my circle, and that's what makes me happy. So when it comes to perfection, I think actually a friend of mine who's doing very well in a tech startup now said that, and he's very numbers focused, and he said even sometimes numbers aren't perfect. And I was like, oh. And he was like, that's how you get rid of that, because you'll realize that everyone is struggling with the same thing, and they just human. It doesn't matter who you look at.
And I'm sure it was tough, because I guarantee you some of that perfectionism like worked in your favor and helped you to get to this toughness that you did. So to still evolve enough to be like, this isn't good for me, even though some of it is self-serving.
That's right. And it's still there. I mean, I'm still working on it, especially with my brand. Like I used to hold on to things very tightly and not let them go. And now I'm like, you know what? People need to see the process, because it's like you, when you are vulnerable and when you show people the process, it enables them to fast track their success, because they know if I have a bad day, if I have a bad moment, I can persevere through that. So, and enhance opportunity. And I have a thing that I always just keep in the back of the mind. It's just whatever it takes. It's like your auditions. And even watching the Oscars recently, you know, you see a lot of people go in their pretty dresses and suits, tuxedos on stage and go collect the Oscars, but some of them get it on the 8th go.
Yeah.
Like 8 times.
And some of them, they'll tell you, like, they were serving tables till they were 40 before they got their first big
That's it. And thank
break,
you for saying that.
I've seen people, this guy I worked with on Magic City, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he was about to mortgage up his home, and his wife and his relationship was falling apart. And he got that project, and he said, I'll never take it for granted because it could be gone in a moment.
Second. That's it.
Yeah.
And I loved what you said about being comfortable in the uncomfortable. That's exactly what it comes to.
That starts becoming a goal instead of like focusing on the negative. Focus on the negative. What are my problems? What are my problems? What are my problems? I'm not one of those guys that pretend like the problems don't exist, but there's so much power in confronting them. Yeah, there's so much power.
We can't control.
Take them, put them in your pocket.
That's it. And you can't control change. You can only deal and control how you deal with change and adversity.
Impermanence is forever.
That's it. And everyone wants to talk about the wins, but what's a failure that actually made you better?
A failure that actually made me better. There's quite a few, but I mean, like I said earlier, moving out here, I felt like a failure. I was an adult. I was unemployed. I had to fight to get an agent, and the resourcefulness that continues to come from that is why I'm able to operate with my purpose in a multifaceted set of ways and do more than just be the actor. I can be on the production side. You know, I can now find a way to levy these gifts and like direct them in a way where I can help people. So, I mean, geez, every day that I think of a failure, there's one phrase that I use very often, and I hope this resonates with somebody, but instead of like, why is this happening to me, is what is this teaching me? So that helps me fast track like the pain, the ugliness of whatever the situation is into something that's going to serve me now. Because if you want to be a light, you got to be able to direct it. You got to be able to light somebody else. Ooh, that does a lot for me.
I feel blessed.
What is this teaching me?
Let's talk about brand, because we're on the $1 Million Branders podcast.
Yes, we are. Thank you for having me again.
Of course. Thank you. In a world where everyone is trying to build a brand, let's face it, and everyone's a branding expert or they have so much to do with it, what do you think separates the ones that actually make an impact from those who just make noise?
Not thinking you know everything. Because we're in a world where people want to be in the I know. And the people that grow, like, so this is a fixed mindset. It's locked. This is the growth mindset. It's open, available, ready to adapt, ready to be tangible. Our world changes every day. It
does.
Like, adaptability is huge. And the people that don't think that they know everything, the growth that comes from those questions.
Yes.
I love when someone can teach me something. I don't feel dumb for not knowing something.
Yes.
I feel resourceful for asking the questions and now gaining to my knowledge. And I know it's truth, because here we go again with the goosebumps all down my spine and all on my my cheeks. I think when I was young, my mom told me this: people are going to be very confused because you are as humble as you are confident. And I think the people that fuse together humility with confidence have infinite growth.
Oh, I know. Zoe's looking at this. Sorry, my client's in the back and she's looking at this smiling. Does this sound like me or what? Yeah. And I truly believe that. And you've had to reinvent yourself across acting, music. I'm sure like reinvention is everything, especially when building a brand. And then again, martial arts, we're going to be seeing you up and coming. There's a Rocky 3.0 coming.
Rocky 3.0
featuring
and Marvel.
You
need a Latino superhero.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
You.
How do you evolve without losing the core of who you are?
Again, goes back to the pillars, goes back to the foundation. If you're grounded in love, if you're grounded in purpose, my parents emphasized very strongly, like make the effort to do what's right. It's always worth it. So as I do evolve from for example, like a bunch of years where I was like living a much more street life in Miami. I had golds in my mouth. I had cornrows. Like the hip hop thing was hard. And this before I got into any acting. And as time passed and I evolved into the man that I am now, like cleaned up, you know, changed my appearance, changed myself, adapted, evolved from the inside out. And like all that fire and all that bubble is still there. But now I can direct it. I can direct it again, and that part's really important to me. But the pillars stay there, like grounded in love, grounded in purpose, grounded in the effort to be good, grounding in believing in a higher power, grounded in wanting to be a positive influence to other people. That stays there. So no matter how I change, those things are only going to get deeper. Those roots, those pillars are going to only go deeper into the ground and fortify me as I continue to go higher.
So good. I can't wait to see what you do next. And my last question for you, what is $1 million brand to you?
Ooh, $1 million brand. I love that you asked me that. I was not ready. And what I feel is immense value. Bringing immense value. If you tell me this is $1 million brand, you're showing me doubt has been removed. You're showing me that value is existent. You're showing me that it's recognized. You're showing me that it has powerful influence. And anybody that has all those things and again directs it the right way, you're in a place to impact positively and maybe forever, and maybe to leave a beautiful legacy behind.
I think we're going to keep you on the show permanently in the same seat. And I want to plug your brand, SeeVerse. It's a mushroom company. I think mental health is probably one of the most important things.
Yes.
And I know this is big, so can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Of course.
I did bring, and I brought you a little gift thing for today.
Thank you so much.
But so SeeVerse, the people that I partnered with, they thank you, Ali, thank you, Victoria. They care very much about bringing a much higher quality, cleaner.
We like the music. There you go. We're just talking about you.
That was my constantly evolving. I have a notification because I learned French in high school and I was semi-fluent, and now I'm not as much. So I'm like, wait, why am I throwing away a tool and a resource and a way to connect with people? Beautiful. So I have an alarm every day at 2:33 because I love my numerology.
Me too, actually. To remind me,
yes?
Yes.
Come on, I'm not surprised.
And angel numbers.
Yes, definitely. I feel like I see them all the time, especially when things are really, really cooking.
See what I mean? Anyway, another laugh from our audience. Yeah.
Beautiful audience. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful audience.
Thank you for the love and the warmth. But yeah, it's just, you know, people have their choices, whether they like to drink or smoke weed or whatnot. I love this because it allows you to get deep. Like, for example, I can go out to the beach and meditate and journal and listen to the sound of the waves and take 1 or 2 gummies, and like it just opens up pathways that like little by little the world is coming to understand. Like we should be able to reach those naturally. Definitely. And once we open those up, then more naturally we start reaching them. I'm very holistic about my life, about what I put in my body.
Me too.
In my home, I don't have plastic bags. I barely have paper towels. I have bidets on all the bathrooms so that you're using a lot less paper. And when I go to the farmers markets, I'm supporting local, and we have mesh bags for like the greens, the mushrooms. I'm gonna need the
LA lessons.
The hemp. Yeah, I'll show you around. Nothing feels better.
I just want to hear you say coffee and donuts every
After this, we'll have coffee and donuts.
Okay, done. Sounds good.
But it's a clean brand, and it's something that's gonna help a lot of people. I have 2 clients that they were struggling with alcoholism, and this allowed them to step away from wanting to have their drink. Another friend of mine, I won't say her name out of respect for her privacy, but taking antidepressant medicine.
Stuff is horrible,
and it's so bad for you.
So
you know,
bad.
Pharma's $1 billion industry in this country. You're not going to stop it overnight, but I will say this: after 3 months, she doesn't take antidepressant pills anymore, which that's where it feels very rewarding.
Huge. That's huge. Yeah.
She's putting something much healthier in her body now, and she's vibrating on a much higher level that she can do naturally on her own now.
I was just about to say,
and
it's
that
natural.
For me is like, I wish I could say her name. I'm sure when she's ready, she'll put it out there to help other people. But like, that's a big win. That's a big
Definitely.
win.
Definitely. I barely take like paracetamol. For me, it's just you've got to be very careful what you put in your body these days.
Yeah.
But it was such an honor to have you
The
on the
honor
show.
was truly mine. I appreciate you.
Really.
You
Thank
made
you
this
so
very
much.
easy for me.
And how do people find you? And how do they support you?
Thank you. I have my music on Apple Music and Spotify. My Instagram is at I am Anthony Bless. Of course, the I am information is going to be there. And AnthonyBless.com has my music videos, my reels. Whenever I have events coming up, I'll put them up there so that people know, like, we're doing this health and wellness seminar or a live performance, or catch me on this
Incredible.
next show and whatnot. So yeah, at I am Anthony Bless.
The next Batman, Spider-Man. What are the other ones? Who do we want to play in Marvel, by the way?
Ooh, man.
You got to manifest
Spider-Man's
that
cool because
stuff.
he's from Queens.
Yeah,
So I
there you
love
go.
Spider-Man. I 2 goals that I have right now. I want to play a James Bond role.
I wanna be a Bond girl.
Oh, come on, let's
So
do
we'll go
it.
in
Let's
that
go.
together.
You hear us. You hear us.
That's it.
And I don't know if they're ever gonna do a non-white Superman, but I've been acting like the real life Superman all my life. It'd be nice to play that on film.
Well, there you go. We're putting out to the universe. And
Yes.
next year, same time, same place.
Sometimes same channel.
Amazing. Thank you so much,
Thanks for
Anthony.
having me.
I feel blessed. Times a million.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Times
you
a
very
million. Well done.
There you
Well
go.
done.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.